Hi and welcome to our podcast Mind Your Tongue by your favorite girls, Sassy Talkers. I'm Ila with my iconic Loki bestie, Aisha, Aida and Zu.
Hello guys, we are not just sassy, we are smart too, okay?
Yes, and today we're going to talk about something that we all struggle with. Especially in speaking English, when we speak English, but it sounds like a direct translation for like a drama Melayu that we always watch on TVs.
And you know those sentence like, you want to go shopping already? Or I very hungry lah. And that is called tongue interference from L1. And yes, it's a real thing by the way.
So sit back ladies, grab your water because now we're going to talk about our first language, how it loves to kacau-kacau our English and how it happens and how we can fix it.
Sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it, and it happens because our brain is trying to apply our first language rules to a second language, but we do need to understand how it happens and how to deal with it. Yes girls, today we are going to talk about how first and second language are learned, some theories that explain this L1 interference, and also how teacher can help students avoid or reduce it in classroom.
So, alright guys, so before we jump into the theories, so let's clarify what's first language acquisition and the second language acquisition. So, shall we?
Yes.
So, first language acquisition is basically what we learn naturally to learn our mother tongue. We learn it because that you don't just come out and you know how to talk, right? No, you learn it. Also, when we're babies, no one teaches you grammar. We learn it naturally by our surroundings, like our parents, friends, and the television we're exposed to, and so on.
Yep, and then we have second language acquisition, which is when we learn a new language like English later in life, and this happens in different ways, either naturally or formal teaching in class. Natural learning means when we pick up the language by having it and using it in real life situations, like living it in a country where everyone speaks English. Meanwhile, instructed learning happens in classroom with teachers, textbook and lessons.
It is very important because the way we learn our second language really affect how we speak, right? It's either we learn it by naturally or in formal setting in class. So if you're learning from the textbook, we don't really get the real life practice, right? So, and that's when we rely too much on our first language. Due to that, that's when the L1 interference happen.
So, let's talk about the first theory, Krashen's Monitor's model. There's like a few parts, but the most relevant one here right now is like the input hypothesis.
So here's the thing on Krashen's input hypothesis. He believes we learn best when we get input that's just a bit difficult than what we already know. Not too easy, not too hard, just enough to make our brain go like, oh that's new. For example, if you already understand the sentence I eat nasi lemak, you'll slowly learn to understand I ate nasi lemak yesterday, right?
It's like your brain just automatically knows that what they mean is that they mean that they ate nasi lemak yesterday.
But here's the thing, students nowadays always using Google Translate to translating directly from Malay to English. And due to that, they might miss out learning that A is the correct past tense. They will say, I eat yesterday because they are thinking in Malay word or the saya makan semalam. But no, that's stronger.
Yeah. So another part of Krashen's hypothesis is Krashen's theory, is the monitor hypothesis. So it says here like some learners sometimes use the first language to check their second language output. So for example, like if they're unsure about what they're saying in the second language output, they will automatically think if the first language in Malay we say it like this, then in English then we'll just do the same, but just
A bit different.
a bit different from the Malay one. So that's when the L1 interference comes in our daily conversation.
Now, we're going into our second theory, which is Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. He believed more about like social interactions that help one learn their second language, like what we're doing right now. Like we're talking, social interaction. Because while we're talking, we're also learning different things.
He introduced something called the zone of proximal development, ZPD. It's basically the gap between what a learner can do alone and what they can do with help. Like when a student asks their friends, "How can you say this in English?" and or "How can you pronounce this in English?" and the friends explains or gives an example to them.
Sometimes using the first language helps students to understand better at first. For example, student might say, "Teacher, saya tak tahu tu apa in English." But that's okay. L1 can be a tool, but we don't want to depend on it too much.
So, to sum up, these theories are true and correct, but in a different side. So, for example, like the Krashen's theory warns that too much of L1 use can actually block the input of the language. Meanwhile, the Vygotsky says that little of L1 can help learners move forward. So, both are useful depending on the situation. So, it's all about the balance. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
So, theories aside, I think it's about time we talk about how teachers can help students reduce the usage of L1 in a classroom setting. What do you guys think?
Okay, I have one good strategy to use sentence frames or sentence starters. For example, the teacher can use phrases like "I like to blah 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 because blah 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 blah," and teachers could ask them to make a sentence by that, and this can help students to focus on building sentence structures without thinking it in their first language, right?
It's Malay.
Yeah.
Okay, another useful method is peer collaboration. Teachers can pair students, which is one stronger and one weaker, to encourage them to speak in English during the activities. And if needed, they can use L1 a little at the start, and after that, slowly switch to fully English.
I think we all can agree that teachers should let their students to reflect on their mistake, right? So, for example, after writing an essay, the teacher can ask the student, check if your sentence would sound like how you would say it in Malay. If yes, then try change the structure, maybe in English. So this actually help the student to become more aware of the L1 interference. So what do you think?
Yes, I think that's absolutely right.
Exactly, like we shouldn't punish students for trying to learn. They're just using the L1 so they improve themselves. We should more guide them slowly using the proper second language.
Correct, Zulaikha. Learning is not just about rules, and it's about confidence and practice.
Okay, to conclude our session talk, tongue interference from L1 is totally normal. It happens to almost everyone who's learning a new language.
Yes, correct. But with the right teaching methods and theories, by using theories like Krashen and Vygotsky, teachers can help to improve the student and make them become more confident in English, right?
Yep.
Also, it's not about banning L1 completely. It's about learning how to use L1 properly and when to use it.
That is all from us today. And thank you so much for listening to our talk. Mind your tongue. Yep. Says it. Okay, we hope you guys learned something from us, and maybe you will notice how your L1 affects your English too. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Finally.
Sassy talk.
Oh, bye.
Jap.